I'm homeless and I get ready for work at the gym. A lot of people don't understand why somebody would choose to be homeless, and honestly, rent was...
So today we are going to be talking about the cost of living and the effects it's having on single black women today.
Now, once upon a time, 100k was a fantastic salary. But if we look at inflation, cost of childcare, cost of living in general, we look at house prices, we look at private rented accommodation. And if you're not getting any assistance from the government, is 100k salary really a good salary? Now, let's look at if a man is on that and the woman hasn't gone back to work, or, she's looking after the children. So he's doing the majority of the financial heavy lifting. Is 100k salary a good salary? If you go up to 125k, you're on 45%. You're practically working for free half of the time, because half of your salary almost is going to taxes.
So I was just reading a report about the singles tax and how it's coinciding with the rise in SINKS, which is an acronym for Single Income, No Kids. And it occurred to me that for those people that are single by choice with all of its associated benefits and drawbacks, they're like, yep, no problem. I'm fully on board with paying an additional tax on top of all the other taxes that I have to pay anyway, right? But for those people that want to be coupled up, for reasons that are greater than just financial, of course, the fact that there is a financial implication to your singleness can just make things feel even more bitter. And the report basically said that post-COVID, the financial resilience of singletons took longer to bounce back than those people in couple. In reality, women globally are paid less for the same work. We live longer than men overall, and we save less for retirement as a result of all of those other financial inequalities.
The older I've gotten, the more I finally fucking started to understand taxes. I didn't fucking understand this shit. I just remember, when I was in college, I was getting back buku hellas amounts of money. But that was because I was in college. And now that I'm not in college anymore, I've learned that you gotta strategically think about this shit. And you have to strategically invest in other things to get tax credits. If you are not married and don't have kids and you are single and you make a certain money above, you always gonna owe, unless you strategically invest in certain things like an IRA, 401k, invest in a health savings account. There's other fucking tax credits you can possibly get. But if you don't do that, you gonna owe. I owe the government $57. I'm not getting my $3,000 in refund check back no more unless I pop out a baby, and that's never fucking happening. I refuse. So I finally understand it now. Some people love taxes.
It's definitely a conversation that's being had more by everyone. And not only that, but the impact of the pop culture globally has also been having on black women and what it promotes when it comes to singlehood.
First year I made $1 million. God didn't just give me one. He didn't just give me two. He didn't just give me three. He gave me 4.3 my first year.
$4.3 million.
My first year. That's how I knew something supernatural was happening, and I was the example. Because I worked so hard all my life to just figure it out. Bottle service, sold hair, did hair, graduated from Howard University. God just he didn't give up on me, but I just locked in. Wow. And I was locking in, but it was all seed time and harvest. Wow. So all the work I did for 33 years, it was like, all right, Natalie, what you gonna do now? I opened up my salon when I was 22 years old. No investor, no bank loans. Yeah. Literally, I was doing bottle service at everybody's favorite clubs, Stadium, Park, all the favorite clubs. Yeah. And I was flipping my bottle service money, buying hair, selling hair, saving the money. I took $20,000 and I opened up my first business, brick and mortar. And at that moment, I realized that being an entrepreneur does not mean you're a boss. Come on now. I was working day in and day out, going to the bottle service at nighttime, sleepless nights, traveling across the world to do bottle service. I said, Natalie, the same grind that you have for bottle service, you need to find something and put that grind in over.
A disproportionate number of black women are kinless as they age. Advocates say they deserve a social safety net too. Now, what does that mean? Carlene Davis, 57, started thinking about aging when she was still in her 30s. With rising rates of single adults through divorce and never marrying, at the same time births are declining, there's a growing concern over who will look after this large cohort of kinless seniors who don't have a partner or family members to provide care. The concern is particularly acute for black women who, according to a 2017 study, have a lower level of wealth and the highest rate of kinlessness. As a result, being single is costly due to the lack of equitable coverage, reduced social security benefits, and limited ability to preserve money by there being only one person to generate income and benefit for a given household.
Professor Drake, great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. So can you give us an idea of why evictions are so high for black women specifically and the short and long-term impact it's having on them and their families?
Sure. So Black women traditionally are tasked with a lot of the caretaking roles of both their immediate family, but also their extended family. And so what you're more likely to see is that these are the women who are going to be having to take in cousins, having to take in people who are experiencing their own economic precarity or housing precarity, in addition to their own families. As sort of the head caretakers, you also see that they're more likely to make these sorts of sacrifices. So you see Black women, and all women actually, but Black women in particular, because they have kind of less opportunity and less access, more likely to stay, for example, in substandard housing or expensive housing if it means that their child has access to a good school or they have access to a job opportunity.
We're also going to take a look at the rise of homelessness happening.
In my car, y'all were concerned that I was going to get snowed in. I did, but I have a backup plan. Normally, when I travel, I just kind of park wherever I want. But because I knew that it was possibly going to snow, I decided to hit up some random dude off the internet.
It's not a big deal. I've been meeting people from the internet for years.
He said that I can come park in his neighborhood. And this is around the time that I normally get up and start my day. And now I'm starting to get antsy. So I'm just going to go in his house. Never met him before. So let's go meet him together. Because my stomach right now is playing the congas and my pee cup is not going to be enough. I need to shower. I need to, most importantly, brush my teeth. So I'm just going to go in. I think we're going to be snowed in together. I really don't even know what is happening right now. But
I'm homeless and I get ready for work at the gym. A lot of people don't understand why somebody would choose to be homeless, and honestly, rent was kicking my ass. I was paying $2,000 in household bills, and now I pay $20 for my gym membership. When I tell people I'm homeless, they imagine me digging in dumpsters like this looking for food. I chose to be homeless because I'm tired of paying bills and I need to save some money. They didn't want to give me food stamps, so I'm out here living rent-free, eating ribs. I said I was homeless, never said I was broke. I get my packages sent to a pickup location and go pick it up from there. I'm homeless, and this is where I sleep. When I left my apartment, I thought I'd be living in my car rent-free. The day I moved out, my car completely shut down, but it was too late to go back. I slept in that car so many nights without air and heat, and so one day I just couldn't take it. I told I'm homeless, and yes, I'm cleaning my makeup brushes in this bathroom. One thing I hate about being homeless is people don't like when you make the struggle look good. It's a problem if I want to do my hair and makeup, but it's okay if I was living in the streets looking bad. All I know is I'm going to keep making my content, and you keep making sure.
Help. Cold blue. Everybody tried. I didn't even know my 2-year-old was dying. I was in it with my 9-year-old, and they brought her in right after they pronounced him dead. And my mama came to me, she said, Yaya. That's what we call her, but her name is Amelia. We just call her Yaya. And they said she wasn't breathing, and they pronounced her dead too. I asked everybody for help. I called out of state. I called cities I didn't know. I called cities people asked me to call. I even asked Detroit. I've been on Kinlessness for the longest. Everybody now wants to help. After I lost 2 kids, I've been asked for help.
Here's an unfiltered day in the life of a single mother living in a car.
Good morning. Good. How'd you sleep? Love you.
You're crazy.
I woke you up and I told you, I was like, are you okay? You said, why do you always say that? And you fell back to sleep.
I need that sleep. When I was walking last night, I heard a noise. And last night,
What kind of noise?
That is crazy.
No, man.
I think I see someone. Hey!
Thank you so much for watching.
It's clear this is becoming more of a concern to black women and black females in general when it comes to the cost of living rising, and even the fact that the birth rates are going lower and there are more older women that are kinless is also impacting them in society as we know today. That's why the rise of homelessness is happening, and because there is more single household than there were before, and society in general respects a family household, a married household more, well, it kind of puts single black women, childless black women in a predicament that they're actually not ready for. And this independent stance that they have advocated so much, they're beginning to see that society doesn't actually respect you, nor does society actually owe you anything. And so much for the pop culture that pushes this agenda out to black women and black females every day, puts them in a position that they're actually finding it hard to take care of themselves, putting them in a position where they're actually realizing that independency is not made for you, nor are you biologically made to be independent in the first place. So what's happening is black women are actually digging a deeper hole for themselves, where no one's actually going to be able to pull you out or want to pull you out of the mess that you all have put yourself in.